Welcome to our show, Trump Briefing. In today's headlines, we have the hilarious return of Mike Myers to SNL, where he took a jab at Trump's tariffs on Canada with his signature humor. Myers, donning a Toronto Maple Leafs shirt, poked fun at the tensions between the US and Canada, bringing laughter to the serious topic of trade. Next, we're seeing a significant rise in Americans seeking UK citizenship, with a 26% increase in applications this year. Many are citing healthcare costs and political instability as reasons for their move. It's a fascinating trend that highlights how global events can influence personal decisions and migrations. Lastly, Ursula von der Leyen is making waves with her announcement of an €800 billion plan to strengthen Europe's defense. She's leaving no stone unturned in finding funding options, emphasizing the urgency of addressing global threats. With these developments, it's clear that the geopolitical landscape is ever-changing. Please stay tuned for more detailed coverage on these exciting stories. The Toronto Star reports that Mike Myers made a spirited return to Saturday Night Live, where he humorously addressed the ongoing tensions between the United States and Canada, particularly in relation to tariffs imposed by Donald Trump. Wearing a t-shirt emblazoned with "Canada is not for sale," Myers engaged in a playful skit where he impersonated Elon Musk, showcasing the comedic talent that originally made him a household name. His gesture of elbows up, a nod to hockey culture and a rallying cry against Trump's policies, resonated with the audience, especially as he stood alongside Lady Gaga, who hosted the episode. The show's humor included jabs at Canada, highlighting the light-hearted rivalry between the two nations while also reflecting on serious political issues. According to The Guardian, a significant surge in Americans applying for UK citizenship has been noted, with over 6,100 applications in 2024 alone. This represents a 26% increase from the previous year, coinciding with Donald Trump's re-election, which prompted many to reconsider their future in the US. Interviews with 3 Americans revealed deeply personal reasons for their decisions to move, including healthcare concerns, gun violence, and a feeling of political disillusionment. Michael Lark, who moved due to his wife's health issues, expressed a newfound appreciation for the sense of community in the UK, contrasting it with the individualistic culture of the US. Joshua Hickman and Melissa Clements shared similar sentiments, emphasizing the unpredictability of US laws and the desire for a safer, more stable environment for their families. The Guardian also highlights Ursula von der Leyen's remarks regarding EU defense funding, amid rising concerns about threats to democracy and the rule of law in Europe. As the head of the European Commission, she emphasized the need for a robust response to geopolitical shifts, hinting at a potential increase in military spending and a willingness to explore unconventional funding methods. While reaffirming the US as an ally, von der Leyen acknowledged the complexities introduced by Trump's administration. She called for a united European front to support Ukraine, stressing the urgency of military aid following recent attacks. Her €800 billion plan aims to bolster the EU's defense capabilities, potentially fostering collaboration with non-EU countries like the UK and Canada, while maintaining a firm commitment to reducing dependency on Russian energy sources. The Toronto Star reports that a significant move by the Trump administration has seen the Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, offer a voluntary separation package of up to $25,000 to most of its 80,000 employees. This drastic measure comes as part of a broader strategy to cut costs within the federal government, which has an annual budget of approximately $1.7 trillion, primarily allocated for Medicare and Medicaid. With the deadline for employees to respond looming, concerns arise about the implications of these cuts, especially as the CDC is currently addressing a measles outbreak in West Texas and New Mexico. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the newly appointed health secretary, has indicated intentions for further staff reductions, hinting at a potential overhaul of the agency's workforce. In a separate development, the South China Morning Post highlights the firing of Adam Cohen, the head of the Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Forces at the Justice Department, reflecting the Trump administration's ongoing effort to purge career officials. Cohen's dismissal came shortly after he helped draft a memo outlining new initiatives to combat illegal immigration. His shock at being fired underscores a broader trend of the administration sidelining experienced officials who typically remain in their roles across different presidential terms. Additionally, several assistant U.S. attorneys were placed on leave, raising concerns about the politicization of the Justice Department and the impact on ongoing corruption cases, including one involving New York Mayor Eric Adams. Meanwhile, the Associated Press illustrates the challenges faced by small business owner Brian Seliga of Fishtown Seafood due to the unpredictable nature of tariffs on Canadian goods, particularly oysters. With 60% to 70% of his oyster supply coming from Canada, the recent back and forth on a 25% tariff has left him grappling with uncertainty, as it complicates his ability to plan for pricing and inventory. Seliger's commitment to maintaining quality and variety for his customers is evident, yet he fears that the volatility of the tariffs could stifle the growth of the oyster market, which has seen increased demand in recent years. As he navigates this tumultuous landscape, Seliger is preparing to adjust his offerings and pricing strategies, highlighting the broader implications of trade policies on small businesses and consumer choices. Australian Broadcasting Corporation reports that Hamas has engaged in unprecedented direct talks with the Trump administration regarding the release of Eden Alexander, a 21-year-old American-Israeli hostage. These discussions come ahead of upcoming ceasefire negotiations in Qatar, where an Israeli delegation is set to advance the peace talks. Despite previous avoidance of direct negotiations with Hamas due to its designation as a terrorist organization, a senior Hamas official confirmed the talks have been constructive. However, the negotiations for the second phase of the ceasefire have faced delays, with Hamas accusing Israel of stalling efforts to continue peace discussions. The situation remains tense, as Israeli strikes have continued despite the ceasefire, further complicating the fragile peace. The Globe and Mail highlights the plight of dozens of migrants released by Panama after being detained for weeks following their deportation from the United States. Many, like Hayatullah Oma, a 29-year-old Afghan refugee, find themselves in a state of limbo, unable to return to their home countries due to threats from the Taliban. With limited resources and no clear path forward, these migrants are grappling with the reality of their precarious situation. Advocates and human rights groups are stepping in to assist the released individuals, who endured poor conditions in detention. The agreement between the U.S. and Central American countries to expedite deportations has raised significant human rights concerns, as many of the deportees are fleeing violence and persecution. The Guardian discusses how the narrative surrounding the COVID-19 pandemic has shifted dramatically over the past 5 years. Initially, public trust in science and public health measures was strong, but a new narrative has emerged, blaming the response to the pandemic rather than the virus itself for the chaos that ensued. This shift has been embraced by populist political figures, creating a sense of disillusionment towards scientific expertise. Public health experts warn that this trend could leave society more vulnerable to future pandemics, as funding for infectious disease research dwindles and critical health initiatives stall. The article calls for a national conversation on the roles of individuals, society, and the state in managing health crises, emphasizing the need for mutual aid and support systems to foster resilience in the face of future challenges. Deutsche Welle reports that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is set to visit Saudi Arabia for crucial talks with U.S. delegates, marking the first meeting since a contentious encounter at the White House in February. This diplomatic effort comes after Zelensky's previous trip was postponed due to a surprise Russian-U.S. meeting. He emphasizes Ukraine's commitment to peace and its exclusion from earlier discussions, asserting that any decisions about the war should include Ukraine. Analysts suggest that the meeting will focus on technical negotiations, potentially involving a deal granting the U.S. access to Ukraine's rare earth minerals, which could be pivotal for future peace talks. However, there are concerns that the U.S. may pressure Ukraine for territorial concessions, a topic Zelensky has so far resisted. The overarching aim of the meeting is to establish a dialogue that signals Ukraine's willingness to collaborate with the U.S. and de-escalate the ongoing conflict. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email. Stocks to rise and sometimes shiver. Economy goes up and down. In this game, we wear the crown.